The hostess's smile froze, her eyes narrowing as Maya stepped into Lucille, the air thick with the scent of truffle and privilege. "I'm sorry, ma'am. We're fully booked," she said, her voice dripping with a practiced politeness that didn't reach her eyes. Maya, in a tailored blazer that screamed money, knew the lie before it left the woman's lips. New York City, 2025. Lucille was the kind of place where the elite dined, where reservations were a status symbol, and where Maya Johnson-Tech, billionaire, black, queer, and unapologetic, had just been turned away. She stood at the entrance, her heart pounding not with shame, but with a fire that had fueled her rise from a Brooklyn walk-up to a penthouse overlooking Central Park. At 32, she'd built an empire, her app revolutionizing mental health access for marginalized communities. Yet here, in this gilded cage of fine dining, she was just another face they didn't want to serve. She adjusted her glasses, her gaze locking onto the hostess's name tag. "Claire. I called yesterday. Confirmed a table for 2 at 7 p.m. Maya said, her voice steady but sharp, like a blade wrapped in silk. Claire's lips twitched, a flicker of discomfort. "There must be a mistake. Perhaps you meant another restaurant." The suggestion hung heavy, laced with an unspoken assumption: you don't belong here. Maya's phone buzzed in her pocket, a reminder of the woman waiting for her outside. Lena, her girlfriend of 2 years, who'd been her rock through every boardroom battle and late-night doubt. Lena, white, soft-spoken, and fiercely protective, who'd insisted on this dinner to celebrate Maya's latest Forbes cover. Maya could picture her now, pacing the sidewalk, her auburn hair catching the streetlights. The thought of Lena's disappointment stoked the ember in Maya's chest into a flame. "I'll wait," Maya said, stepping back, her heels clicking against the marble floor. Claire's eyes widened, but she said nothing, turning to the next guest, a white man in a mediocre suit who was ushered in without a glance. Maya's jaw tightened. She'd seen this script before, in boardrooms, in venture capital meetings, in every space where her blackness was a problem to be managed. But she wasn't here to beg. She was here to win. Outside, Lena's breath caught as Maya emerged, her face a storm of resolve and hurt. "They said no?" Lena asked, her voice soft but laced with anger. At 29, Lena was a social worker, her heart as big as her dreams of a world where love didn't have to fight to be seen. She reached for Maya's hand, their fingers intertwining, a quiet rebellion against the world's judgments. "They didn't say it was because I'm black," Maya replied, her voice low, "but they didn't have to." She glanced back at Lucille's glowing facade, its exclusivity a taunt. "They think they can erase me. They're wrong." Lena squeezed her hand. "What do we do now?" Her green eyes searched Maya's, trusting her to lead. As always. Maya's lips curved into a dangerous smile. "We don't just eat here, Lena. We own this place." The idea had sparked months ago, when Maya first heard whispers of Lucille's discriminatory practices, subtle, coded, but unmistakable. A black couple denied a table despite reservations. A Latino family seated in the back, near the kitchen. A queer couple ignored until they left. Maya had built her fortune on seeing patterns others missed. And this one was clear: Lucille was a fortress of prejudice, cloaked in fine linen and Michelin stars. She'd started digging. Lucille's parent company, Elite Dining Group, was struggling. Overexpansion, bad investments, and a string of PR disasters had left them vulnerable. Maya's wealth wasn't just money, it was leverage. She'd already contacted her financial advisor, a shark named Priya who thrived on hostile takeovers. "It's doable," Priya had said over Zoom, her eyes gleaming. "But it's bold. You'd be stepping on some powerful toes. Good. Maya had replied. I'm not here to tiptoe. Now, standing outside Lucille, the plan crystallized. Maya pulled out her phone. Texting Priya, green light. Start the acquisition. She looked at Lena, whose eyes sparkled with a mix of awe and mischief. You're serious? Lena said. Not a question, but a confirmation. Dead serious. Maya said. They don't get to decide who belongs. We do. The next morning, Maya's penthouse was a war room. Her team lawyers, accountants, and Priagathered around a glass table. Laptops open. Coffee cups scattered. Lena sat quietly in the corner, sketching in her notebook, her presence a grounding force. Maya stood at the head, her voice commanding as she outlined the strategy. Elite Dining Group's stock was tanking, and their board was desperate. Maya's offer would be generous but firm. Sell to her, or watch their empire crumble. It's not just about Lucille, Maya said, her hands gripping the table. It's about every door they've slammed in someone's face. We're tearing those doors down. Priya leaned forward, her tablet glowing with numbers. We've got the capital. Your liquid assets alone cover half the buyout. With investors, we can close in weeks. She paused, her gaze softening. But Maya? They'll fight dirty. The CEO, Richard Voss, doesn't like losing. Especially not to. She trailed off. But Maya knew the rest, a black woman. Let him try, Maya said, her voice steel. I've faced worse. Lena looked up from her sketch, a portrait of Maya mid-speech, her face alight with purpose. You're unstoppable, Lena said quietly. Just for her. Maya's heart softened, but only for a moment. There was work to do. By noon, the offer was drafted. Maya's team moved like a machine, each piece falling into place. She'd spent years building this network, people who believed in her vision, who saw her not as a token, but as a force. Yet doubt lingered. A whisper in the back of her mind, what if they win? What if this is too big? She pushed it down. Doubt was a luxury she couldn't afford. That night, Maya and Lena lay in bed, the city's skyline glittering through the window. Lena's head rested on Maya's chest, her fingers tracing lazy circles. What if it doesn't work? Lena asked, her voice barely above a whisper. What if they find a way to stop you? Maya stared at the ceiling, her mind racing. Then we fight harder, she said. This isn't just about us. It's about everyone who's been told they don't belong. She turned, kissing Lena's forehead. And I don't lose. Lena. Not anymore. Lena smiled, her eyes bright with faith. I know, she said. That's why I love you. As sleep pulled them under, Maya's dreams were vivid, a world where doors opened for everyone, where love and justice weren't just ideals, but realities. She woke with a fire in her chest, ready for the battle ahead. Lucille wasn't just a restaurant, it was a symbol. And Maya Johnson was coming for it. The boardroom of Elite Dining Group smelled of old money and desperation. Maya sat at the head of a mahogany table, her posture impeccable, her eyes scanning the faces of the men and women who thought they could outmaneuver her. Richard Voss, the CEO, leaned back in his chair, his smirk a weapon. At 55, he was a relic of privilege, his silver hair and tailored suit a facade for a man clinging to a crumbling empire. You're bold, Ms. Johnson, Voss said, his voice smooth but barbed. But buying us out, that's a stretch, even for someone like you. The someone like you landed like a slap, and Maya felt the room's eyes on her, some curious, some hostile. She was the only black person here, the only woman under 40. and definitely the only one who'd walk through Lucille's doors only to be turned away. She smiled, letting the silence stretch. Your stock's down 30% in 6 months. Richard, she said, her tone conversational but lethal. Your investors are jumping ship, and your flagship restaurant Lucille's bleeding money. I'm not here to stretch. I'm here to save you. A murmur rippled through the room. Priya, seated to Maya's right, slid a folder across the table. Our offer, she said, her voice crisp. $1. $2 billion for a controlling stake. You keep your board seats, but we steer the ship. Vasa's smirk faltered, but he recovered quickly. And what makes you think we'd hand over our legacy to? He paused, choosing his words carefully. To an outsider. Maya leaned forward, her gaze locking onto his. Because I'm not asking. Richard, I'm telling you. Your legacy is built on exclusion and turning away people who don't fit your mold. I'm here to change that. Or you can watch it all burn. The room fell silent. A board member, an older woman with sharp eyes, spoke up. Your reputation precedes you. MS. Johnson. But this is a risky move. Lucille is a brand. Change it too much, and you lose its soul. Maya's laugh was soft but cutting. Its soul? You mean the soul that tells people like me we're not welcome? That's not a soul. That's a stain. She stood, pacing slowly, her heels echoing in the tense silence. I didn't get here by playing nice. I built a company that serves millions black, brown, queer, poor, everyone you've ignored. Lucille isn't just a restaurant to me. It's a battlefield, and I don't lose battles. As she spoke, her mind flashed to Lena, waiting at home, probably baking to calm her nerves. Lena, who'd spent the morning whispering encouragement in Maya's ear, who'd reminded her why this fight mattered. Maya's resolve hardened. This wasn't just about her, it was about every person who'd been made to feel small. The meeting dragged on. Voss and his allies throwing up roadblocks, legal jargon, vague threats, excuses about brand integrity. But Maya's team was relentless. Priya dismantled their arguments with data, while Maya's lawyer, Jamal, countered every legal objection with precision. By the end, the board was divided. But Maya saw the cracks. They were scared, and scared people could be swayed. That night, Maya returned to her penthouse, exhausted but electrified. Lena was in the kitchen, flour dusting her cheeks, a tray of lavender cookies cooling on the counter. How'd it go? She asked, wiping her hands on an apron. Maya pulled her close, breathing in the scent of sugar and home. They're fighting, she said, but they're losing. Lena's eyes sparkled. You're terrifying. You know that. She kissed Maya softly, then pulled back, her face serious. But what happens when you win? Running a restaurant in Paris, that's not your world. Maya hesitated. Lena was right. Tech was her domain, not fine dining. But this wasn't about food. It was about power, about rewriting the rules. It's not about the restaurant, she said. It's about what it represents. If I can change Lucille, I can change anything. Lena nodded, but worry lingered in her eyes. Just don't lose yourself in this. Okay, I need you. Maya's heart ached at the vulnerability in Lena's voice. She cupped Lena's face, her thumb brushing her cheek. You're my anchor. Lena, I'm not going anywhere. The next week was a blur of negotiations. Voss played dirty, leaking stories to the press about Maya's hostile takeover, painting her as an opportunist. Social media buzzed, some calling her a hero, others a villain. Lucille takeover trended, and Maya's inbox flooded with messages support from her community. hate from strangers. She ignored it all, focusing on the endgame. Priya called with a breakthrough. 2 board members were wavering, swayed by Maya's vision of a rebranded Lucilone that welcomed everyone, not just the elite. We're close, Priya said. But Voss is rallying his loyalists. He's got something up his sleeve. Maya's stomach twisted. She'd expected resistance. But Voss's desperation was dangerous. She met his gaze across another boardroom table, his eyes cold with calculation. You're making a mistake, he said, his voice low. You think you can just walk in and take what's ours? It's not yours. Maya shot back. It's a business. And I'm better at business than you. The room held its breath. Voss's face reddened. But he said nothing, his silence a warning. Maya knew he'd strike soon, she just didn't know how. That night, she and Lena attended a fundraiser for queer youth, a reminder of why Maya fought. Lena mingled effortlessly, her warmth drawing people in, while Maya stood back, watching her with quiet pride. A young black teen approached, eyes wide. You're Maya Johnson, she said. You're why I want to code. Maya's throat tightened. You're why I keep going, she said, meaning every word. The girl's smile stayed with her, a beacon through the storm. But the storm was coming. Voss's next move hit like a sucker punch, a smear campaign, accusing Maya of financial misconduct in her tech company. The allegations were baseless, but the headlines were vicious. Maya's stock dipped, and whispers of doubt crept into her team. Even Priya looked shaken. We can fight this, she said, but her voice lacked its usual fire. Maya sat in her office, staring at the city below. Lena slipped in, wrapping her arms around her from behind. You're not alone, Lena whispered. We'll get through this. Maya turned, her eyes fierce. I need to hit back, she said. Hard. Lena nodded, her trust unwavering. Then do it. Show them who you are. Maya spent the night digging into Voss's past, her hacker instincts kicking in. By dawn, she had a lead, a trail of emails linking Voss to Lucille's discriminatory practices. If she played this right, it could end him. But it would also escalate the war. Was she ready for that? She looked at Lena, asleep on the couch, her sketchbook open to a drawing of them together, hands clasped, standing tall. Maya made her choice. This wasn't just a fight for Lucille, it was a fight for her future. For Lena. For everyone who'd ever been shut out. She was all in. The email chain was a goldmine, each message a nail in Richard Voss's coffin. Maya sat in her home office, the glow of her laptop illuminating her face as she scrolled through years of correspondence. There it was, Voss instructing Lucille's staff to prioritize certain clientele and discreetly manage reservations from undesirable guests. The language was coded, but the intent was clear: black, brown, queer. Anyone who didn't fit his vision of elite was to be sidelined. Maya's fingers hovered over the keyboard. Leaking this could destroy Voss, but it would also ignite a firestorm. She glanced at Lena, curled up on the couch with a book, her presence a quiet reminder of what was at stake. Maya wasn't just fighting for herself, she was fighting for the kid at the fundraiser, for the couples turned away, for a world where power didn't mean exclusion. She called Priya. We've got him, Maya said, forwarding the emails. But we need to be strategic. If we go public, it's war. Priya's voice crackled with excitement. War's what we're built for. I'll prep a press release, but we need to time it right after the board vote. Let Voss think he's winning. Maya nodded, her mind racing. The board vote was in 3 days. If she could sway one more member, the acquisition was hers. But Voss's smear campaign was gaining traction. Her company's stock had dipped another 5%. and her investors were nervous. She needed a win, and she needed it fast. She spent the day meeting with allies, community leaders, influencers, even a sympathetic journalist who'd been burned by Voss's elitism. This isn't just about Lucille, Maya told them. It's about who gets to sit at the table literally and figuratively. By evening, she'd secured promises of support, their voices amplifying hers on social media. Justice for Lucille trended alongside Lucille takeover, the narrative shifting in her favor. But Voss wasn't done. That night, a new article dropped, this one claiming Maya's app had violated user privacy. The accusations were flimsy, but the damage was real. Her phone buzzed with panicked texts from investors. Lena found her pacing the living room, her face a mask of frustration. They're lying, Maya said, her voice tight. They're trying to scare people. Lena took her hands, grounding her. They're scared of you, Maya. You're shaking their world. Keep going. Maya exhaled, leaning into Lena's touch. I don't know if I can do this without you, she admitted, her voice soft. Lena smiled, her eyes fierce. You don't have to. I'm right here. The next morning, Maya counterattacked. She held a press conference, her team live streaming it across platforms. Standing before a crowd of reporters, she didn't mention the email she didn't need to. Lucille isn't just a restaurant, she said, her voice steady. It's a symbol of who gets to belong. I'm here to make sure everyone does. The crowd erupted in applause, and social media lit up. Lena watched from the sidelines, her sketchbook in hand, capturing Maya's fire in quick strokes. A reporter asked, what about the allegations against your company? Maya's smile was razor-sharp. Lies fall apart under scrutiny. My company's open books are available to anyone who asks. Can Elite Dining Group say the same? The question hung in the air, a challenge Voss couldn't ignore. By afternoon, his team issued a defensive statement, but it was too late. The public was turning. Maya's team worked overtime, reassuring investors and rallying support. Priya called with good news, the wavering board member. The sharp-eyed woman from the first meeting was now leaning toward Maya. She likes your vision, Priya said, but she's worried about backlash. We need to lock her in. Maya spent the evening crafting a personal letter to the board member, Margaret, outlining her plans for Lucille, diverse staff, inclusive policies, community outreach. This isn't about tearing down a legacy, she wrote. It's about building a better one. She sent it off, her heart pounding with hope. That night, Lena cooked dinner spaghetti with homemade sauce, a comfort food ritual. They ate on the balcony, the city sprawling below. You're changing the world, Lena said, her voice soft but proud. Maya shook her head. We are. I couldn't do this without you. Lena's cheeks flushed, but her eyes were serious. What happens when you own Lucille? It's not just a win, it's a responsibility. Maya nodded, the weight settling in. Owning Lucille meant more than victory. It meant proving she could run it better, fairer, without losing the spark that made it special. I'm ready, she said, more to herself than Lena. I have to be. The day of the board vote dawned gray and cold. Maya dressed carefully, choosing a deep blue suit that felt like armor. Lena kissed her at the door, whispering, You've got this. Maya carried that warmth with her into the boardroom, where Voss waited, his face a mask of confidence. The vote was tense, each member's decision a heartbeat. Margaret's eyes met Maya's as she cast her vote yes. The room shifted, and when the final tally came, Maya had won. Elite Dining Group was hers. Voss stood, his face pale. This isn't over, he said, his voice low. You'll regret this. Maya met his gaze. Unflinching. I don't do regret. Richard. But you might. The room emptied. But Maya stayed, her hands trembling with victory. Priya hugged her, laughing. But Maya's thoughts were elsewhere in Lena. On the future. On the doors she was about to open. She texted Lena, "We did it." Lena's reply was instant. "I'm so proud of you. Dinner at Lucille tonight." Maya laughed, her heart full. But the celebration was short-lived. An email from an anonymous source landed in her inbox, a photo of her and Lena. Taken outside Lucille the night they were turned away. With a single line, "You can't hide who you are." Maya's blood ran cold. This wasn't just about race, Anna Maria, it was personal. Someone knew about her and Lena, and they were watching. She forwarded the email to her security team, her mind racing. Voss. A disgruntled board member. Whoever it was. They'd underestimated her. She called Lena, her voice steady despite the fear. "We need to talk," she said. "This just got bigger." Lena's voice was calm, resolute. "Whatever it is, we face it together." Maya hung up, her resolve hardening. Lucille was hers. But the fight wasn't over. It was just beginning. The anonymous email burned in Maya's mind as she drove to meet Lena at their favorite coffee shop. A cozy spot in Brooklyn far from Lucille's glittering world. The photo her and Lena, hands clasped. Defiance in their eyes was a violation. A reminder that their love was a weapon others could wield. Maya gripped the steering wheel, her knuckles tight. But her resolve was tighter. She'd fought too hard to let fear win. Lena was waiting at a corner table, her sketchbook open, a pencil dancing across the page. She looked up as Maya approached, her smile fading at the tension in Maya's face. "What's wrong?" she asked, closing the book. Maya slid into the seat, passing her phone with the email open. Lena's eyes scanned the screen, her jaw tightening. "They're trying to scare us," she said, her voice steady but laced with anger. "Because of who we are." Maya nodded. "And because of who I am. This isn't just about Lucille anymore. Someone's targeting user relationship. My identity. All of it." Lena reached across the table, her hand covering Maya's. "Let them try. We're stronger than that." Maya wanted to believe her. But the weight of the past weeks pressed down Voss's smear campaign. The boardroom battles. The public scrutiny. Owning Lucille was a victory, but it had painted a target on her back. She sipped her coffee, the bitterness grounding her. "I've got my security team on it," she said. "But we need to be careful. No more public appearances together until we know who's behind this." Lena's eyes flashed with defiance. "I'm not hiding, Maya. Not for them." Maya's heart ached at the fire in Lena's voice. "I'm not asking you to hide," she said softly. "I'm asking you to stay safe. For me." Lena's expression softened, but the resolve remained. "Okay. But you don't do this alone. Promise me." "Promise," Maya said, squeezing her hand. The next day, Maya threw herself into transforming Lucille. She met with the restaurant staff, a mix of nervous veterans and eager newcomers, in the dining room that had once rejected her. "This place is changing," she told them, her voice firm but warm. "We're not just serving food, we're re-serving everyone. No exceptions." Some staff nodded. Others shifted uncomfortably. Claire, the hostess who'd turned Maya away, stood at the back, her face unreadable. Maya made a mental note to watch her. Loyalty to Voss could be a problem. She hired a new manager, Amara, a black queer woman with a resume as impressive as her no-nonsense attitude. "I want diversity at every level," Maya told her. "Chefs, Servers. Sommelier Severion gets a seat at this table. Amara grinned. You're speaking my language. Let's make this place a beacon. They spent weeks redesigning the menu, prioritizing local, sustainable ingredients and dishes that celebrated diverse cultures. Jerk chicken alongside coco vin. Tamales next to truffle risotto. Maya invited community leaders to consult, ensuring Lucille reflected the city it served. Social media buzzed with excitement. But so did the hate. Trolls flooded Maya's mentions with slurs, targeting her race, her queerness, her audacity to challenge the status quo. Lena helped her navigate the noise. Focus on the good, she said one night, scrolling through supportive posts on her phone. Look at this, people are booking tables just to support you. Maya smiled, but the anonymous email lingered in her mind. Her security team traced it to a burner account, unlinked to Voss or anyone obvious. Could be a lone actor. Her head of security, Marcus, said. Or someone hired to rattle you. Keep digging, Maya told him. I want names. The grand reopening of Lucille was set for a month out. A high-stakes event that would test Maya's vision. She and Amara worked tirelessly, training staff, tweaking decor, planning a menu that screamed inclusion. Lena contributed sketches for the new branding, warm, vibrant, welcoming. This is us, Lena said, showing Maya a logo of intertwined hands in every shade. Maya kissed her heart swelling. But the threats didn't stop. Another email arrived, this one with a photo of Maya leaving her office. Alone. You can't change what's natural. It read. Maya's blood ran cold. But she forwarded it to Marcus without hesitation. They're escalating, she told him. We need to move faster. Marcus beefed up her security, assigning a detail to Lena as well. Lena protested, I'm not the one they're after. But Maya was firm. You're my heart, she said. I'm not taking chances. The night before the reopening, Maya and Lena walked through Lucille's empty dining room. The tables set with new linens, the air humming with possibility. This is it, Maya said, her voice thick with emotion. Tomorrow, we show them what belonging looks like. Lena slipped her arm around Maya's waist. And what love looks like, she added, her voice soft but fierce. Maya turned, their lips meeting in a kiss that felt like a promise. But as they pulled apart, Maya's phone buzzed a text from an unknown number. You'll never belong here. Attached was a photo of them, taken moments ago, through Lucille's window. Maya's heart pounded, but she didn't flinch. She grabbed Lena's hand, pulling her toward the door. We're not running, she said. Not now. Not ever. Outside, the street was quiet, the city unaware of the battle raging within her. Marcus was already on his way. But Maya knew this wasn't just about security. It was about standing tall, together, against a world that wanted to tear them down. She looked at Lena, her anchor, her fire, and felt a surge of strength. Tomorrow, Lucille would open its doors to everyone. And no one out Voss, not anonymous cowards, would stop her. The grand reopening of Lucille was a spectacle, the kind New York City hadn't seen in years. The street outside glowed with string lights. A red carpet rolled out for guests ranging from community activists to celebrities who'd rallied behind Maya's vision. Inside, the dining room buzzed with anticipation. Every table booked, every server trained to embody inclusion. Maya stood at the entrance, her deep blue dress hugging her frame, her smile a mix of pride and defiance. Lena was by her side, radiant in emerald green, her hand brushing Maya's for courage. The first guests, Ayurveda black family who'd been turned away months ago, now greeted with warmth by Amara. Welcome home, she said, and their smiles lit up the room. Maya's chest swelled. This was why she'd fought. But the anonymous threats loomed like a shadow. Marcus had stationed discreet security around the venue, and Maya's eyes scanned the crowd for anything out of place. Lena noticed, squeezing her arm. "Tonight's yours," she whispered. "Don't let them steal it." Maya nodded, forcing herself to focus. The night unfolded beautifully. Plates of jerk-spiced scallops and vegan tagine passed around, laughter mingling with jazz from a local queer band. A food critic from the Times scribbled notes, her face impressed. Maya gave a speech, her voice carrying over the crowd. "Lucille isn't just a restaurant, it's a promise. No one gets turned away here. Not anymore." The applause was thunderous, but Maya caught Claire's face in the back, her expression sour. She hadn't fired Claire, hoping she'd adapt. But that look set Maya's nerves on edge. Halfway through the night, a commotion erupted near the bar. A white man in his 40s, clearly drunk, was arguing with a server, a young Latino man named Javier. This place used to have standards. The man slurred, loud enough for heads to turn. Maya moved toward him, her heels clicking with purpose. "Is there a problem?" she asked, her voice calm but steel-edged. The man turned, his eyes raking over her with disdain. "Yeah, there's a problem. This place is a circus now. You think you can just buy respect?" The room hushed, all eyes on Maya. Lena started toward her, but Maya held up a hand, signaling her to stay back. "Respect isn't bought," she said, stepping closer to the man. "It's earned, and you're not earning it right now." Security moved in, escorting the man out as guests murmured. Maya's heart raced, but she kept her composure, turning to the crowd with a smile. "Let's keep the night about love and good food, shall we?" The tension broke, replaced by cheers. But the incident wasn't isolated. Later, a group of older patrons, Voss's loyalists, Maya suspected, complained loudly about the new direction. One woman muttered, "This isn't Lucille anymore." As she left, Maya overheard, her jaw tightening. Change was never easy, but she'd expected resistance. At midnight, as the last guests left, Maya and Lena collapsed into a booth, exhausted but triumphant. Amara joined them, a bottle of champagne in hand. "We did it," she said, pouring glasses. "The reviews are already coming in. People love this." Maya clinked her glass, but her mind was elsewhere. Marcus approached, his face grim. "We got a hit on the email account," he said, keeping his voice low. "It's linked to an IP address in the city. Someone close to Voss, possibly staff." Maya's eyes flicked to Claire, now clearing tables, her movements stiff. "Keep an eye on her," she told Marcus, "and anyone else who's too loyal to the old regime." Lena frowned. "You think it's an inside job?" "I think it's personal," Maya said, "and I'm done playing defense." The next week was a whirlwind. Lucille's reopening trended online, with influencers praising the inclusive vibe and diverse menu. But so did the backlash, PDS decrying the woke takeover of fine dining. Anonymous accounts spewing hate. Maya ignored most of it, focusing on the numbers. Bookings were up, revenue climbing. Her vision was working. But the threats escalated. A brick shattered a window at Lucille. A note attached, "Go back where you came from." Maya stared at the jagged glass, her anger simmering. Marcus's team swept for fingerprints. But the message was clear: someone wanted her gone. She called a staff meeting, addressing the incident head-on. "This isn't just about me," she told them, her voice fierce. "It's about all of us, black, brown, queer, anyone who's been told they don't belong. We're stronger than their hate." Most staff nodded, their faces resolute. But Claire's silence was deafening. Maya pulled her aside after. If you're not on board. Claire. There's the door. Claire's eyes flashed. I've worked here for years. I don't need you telling me how to do my job. Then do it. Maya said, her voice cold. Or you're out. That night, Lena found Maya staring at the broken window, now boarded up. You okay? She asked, slipping her arms around Maya's waist. Maya leaned into her. I'm tired. Lena. Tired of fighting just to exist. Lena turned her, their foreheads touching. You're not just existing. You're changing the world. And I'm with you. Every step. Maya kissed her, the warmth of Lena's love a shield against the chaos. But as they left Lucille, another text arrived. You can't protect her forever. A photo of Lena, alone at the coffee shop, accompanied it. Maya's blood ran cold. She called Marcus, her voice shaking with rage. Find them. Now. The hunt was on, but Maya knew the real battle was bigger. Lucille was thriving, but the war for acceptance for her, for Lena, for everyone raged on. She wasn't backing down. Maya didn't sleep that night. The photo of Lena, alone and unaware, burned into her mind, each pixel a threat she couldn't ignore. She sat at her desk, the city's skyline a blur through the window, as Marcus updated her over the phone. We're narrowing it down, he said. The IP traces to a co-working space downtown. Multiple users, but we're cross-referencing with Lucille's staff records. Focus on Claire, Maya said, her voice tight. She's got motive. Marcus hesitated. We're also looking at Voss. He's been too quiet. Maya hung up, her mind racing. Voss had lost the boardroom battle, but men like him didn't fade quietly. She opened her laptop, pulling up the emails she'd found weeks ago, proof of his discriminatory orders. If she leaked them now, it could end him, but it might also escalate the threats. She needed to be sure. Lena stirred on the couch, her sketchbook slipping to the floor. Maya watched her, a pang in her chest. Lena was her light, her reason to keep going. And now she was a target. Maya's hands clenched. No one would touch her. No one. By morning, Lucille was back in full swing. The broken window replaced. The dining room packed. Maya walked the floor, greeting guests, her smile a mask for the storm inside. Amara pulled her aside during a lull. You look like you're carrying the world, she said, her eyes sharp. Talk to me. Maya hesitated, then told her about the threats. The photos. Amara's face hardened. This is bigger than Lucille, she said. You're shaking up their whole system. They're scared. They should be, Maya said, her voice low. But I need to know who's behind this. Amara nodded. I'll watch the staff. Claire's been whispering with a few servers, nothing obvious. But I don't trust her. That afternoon, Maya met with Priya to discuss expansion. Lucille's success had investors buzzing, and Maya wanted to open more inclusive restaurants under the same model. We're proving it works, she told Priya, spreadsheets glowing on her tablet. Diversity isn't just moral, it's profitable. Priya grinned. You're rewriting the game. But we need to clean house first. Voss's allies are still on the board, and they're dragging their feet on your reforms. Maya's jaw tightened. Then we push harder. No half measures. As they strategized, Marcus called with a breakthrough. We've got a name, he said. Evan Carter, a former Lucille manager. Fired last year. Close to Voss. He's been accessing the co-working space where the emails originated. Maya's pulse quickened. Find him, and check if he's linked to Claire. She spent the evening digging into Carter's past social media posts, old employee records, anything to connect the dots. Carter had a history of loyalty to Voss, and his firing had been messy, tied to a lawsuit he'd filed against Elite Dining Group. If he was working with Voss, or even Claire, this was a coordinated attack. Lena noticed Maya's intensity, setting down her sketchbook. "You're spiraling," she said, her voice gentle but firm. "Come back to me for a minute." Maya exhaled, letting Lena pull her onto the couch. "I can't lose you," she said, her voice breaking. "These threats theory not just about me anymore." Lena cupped her face. "You're not losing me. We're in this together. Remember?" Maya nodded, but the fear lingered. She kissed Lena, pouring her love, her resolve, into it. "I'm ending this," she said. "No more running." The next day, Maya confronted Claire during a quiet moment at Lucille. "I know you're loyal to Voss," she said, her voice low. "And I know you're talking to someone. Tell me who." Claire's face paled, but she held her ground. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Don't lie to me," Maya said, stepping closer. "I've got proof. Evan Carter. Ring a bell." Claire's eyes widened. A flicker of panic. I don't know him." Maya didn't buy it. She fired Claire on the spot, her voice cold. "You're done here. And if I find out you're behind the threats, you'll regret it." Claire left without a word, but Maya felt no relief. The pieces were falling into place, but the puzzle wasn't complete. She called Marcus, instructing him to tail Claire and find Carter. "We're close," she told him. "Don't let up." That night, Lucille hosted a charity dinner for queer youth, a cause close to Maya's heart. She and Lena worked the room, their love a quiet defiance against the threats. The team from the fundraiser was there, beaming as she showed Maya her first coding project. "You inspired this," she said. Maya's throat tightened. "You're the inspiration," she replied, hugging her. But as the night wound down, Marcus pulled Maya aside. "We found Carter," he said. "He's holed up in a motel in Jersey. And he's not alone. Claire's been seen with him." Maya's heart raced. "Bring them in," she said. "I want answers." She looked across the room at Lena, laughing with guests, her warmth a beacon. Maya knew the fight was far from over, but with Lena by her side, she felt unstoppable. Lucille was hers, and so was the future. She just had to claim it. The motel in Jersey was a squat, faded building, its neon sign flickering like a dying star. Maya sat in the back of a black SUV, Marcus beside her, as they watched the entrance. Carter was inside, room 12, and Claire had been spotted leaving an hour ago. Maya's heart pounded, not with fear, but with a need for answers. This wasn't just about Lucille Anna Maria, it was about protecting Lena, her future, everything she'd built. "Stay here," Marcus said, checking his earpiece. "My team's going in." Maya shook her head. "I'm coming. This is my fight." Marcus sighed but didn't argue. He knew better. They approached the room, two security guards flanking them, the night air thick with tension. Marcus knocked, his voice firm. "Evan Carter. Open the door." Silence. Then a shuffle. The door cracked open, revealing a man in his late 30s. Disheveled, eyes darting. "What do you want?" Carter snapped, his voice shaky. Maya stepped forward, her presence commanding. "I want to know why you're targeting me. The emails, the photos, the brick talk." Carter's eyes widened, but he tried to play it off. "I don't know what you're talking about." Marcus pushed the door open, revealing a cluttered room laptop. Burner phones. A stack of papers with Lucille's logo. This says otherwise, he said, holding up a photo of Maya and Lena. Carter's shoulders slumped. It wasn't personal, he muttered. Voss paid me. Said you were ruining everything. Maya's blood boiled. Voss told you to threaten my girlfriend. To scare us out. Carter hesitated, then nodded. He said you didn't belong. That Lucille was his. Not someone like you. The words stung, but Maya swallowed the pain. And Claire. She fed me info. Carter admitted. Staff schedules. Your movements. She hated you taking over. Maya's jaw tightened. She'd been right to fire Claire. But the betrayal still cut. You're done, she told Carter. And so is Voss. You're both answering for this. Marcus's team cuffed Carter, reading him his rights as they let him out. Maya stayed behind, scanning the room. A notebook caught her eye: names, dates, instructions in Voss's handwriting. It was enough to bury him. Back at the penthouse, Maya showed Lena the evidence. Lena's face paled as she read, but her voice was steady. What now? Now we end it, Maya said. I'm taking this to the police. The press. Everyone. Voss doesn't get to hide. Lena nodded, but worry clouded her eyes. He's powerful, Maya. He won't go quietly. Maya took her hands. Neither will I. The next morning, Maya's team moved fast. Priya coordinated with the lawyer, Jamal, to file charges against Voss and Carter for harassment and conspiracy. The notebook was gold proof of Voss's direct involvement. Maya leaked the emails to her journalist ally, who broke the story by noon. Elite dining group CEO linked to racist, homophobic threats against black billionaire. The internet exploded. Voss outtrended. And Lucille's phone rang off the hook with support and cancellations from Voss's loyalists. Maya didn't care. She was done playing their game. She called a board meeting, presenting the evidence. Voss is a liability, she told them, her voice unwavering. He's not just hurting May, he's hurting Lucille's future. Vote him out, or I walk, and I take my money with me. The board didn't hesitate. By evening, Voss was gone, his resignation a headline. But Maya knew he'd fight back. Men like him always did. That night, Lucille hosted a community dinner, free for local residents. The dining room was packed: families, queer couples, people of every background, laughing and eating together. Maya watched from the sidelines, Lena's hand in hers, her heart full. This was what she'd fought for. But the victory felt fragile. Voss was out, but his allies remained, and the threats hadn't stopped. Another email arrived as Maya locked up. You think you've won. Watch your back. She showed it to Marcus, who was already tracing it. We'll find them, he said, but you need to lay low for a bit. Maya shook her head. I'm done hiding. They want to fight. They've got one. Lena pulled her close, her voice fierce. We've got one. Together. Maya nodded, her resolve steel. The battle wasn't over, but she was ready. Lucille was hers, and so was the future. She just had to keep fighting for it. The sun rose over New York, painting Lucille's windows gold. Maya stood in the empty dining room, the tables bare, the air quiet except for the hum of possibility. A year had passed since she'd walked through these doors. Rejected. And now she owned them. But ownership wasn't the end, it was the beginning. The latest threat lingered in her mind. Watch your back. Marcus had traced it to a new burner account, unlinked to Carter or Voss. But Maya wasn't naive. Hate didn't vanish with one victory. It adapted, slithered, waited. She was ready. Lena joined her, carrying 2 coffees. Her smile a balm. You look like you're plotting world domination, she teased, handing Maya a cup. Maybe I am, Maya said, her lips curving. Starting with this place. They sat at a table, the city waking outside. Lucille had become a beacon, its inclusive model drawing crowds and praise. Revenue was up, staff morale high, and the menu, now a tapestry of global flavors, was a hit. But Maya's vision stretched beyond one restaurant. She'd launched a foundation, funding culinary training for marginalized youth, and was eyeing new locations to replicate Lucille's success. People are watching you, Lena said, her voice soft but proud. You're showing them what's possible. Maya reached for her hand. We are. I couldn't have done this without you. Lena's eyes glistened. You're the fire, Maya. I'm just happy to keep up. The past year hadn't been easy. Voss's downfall was swift, charges filed. His reputation in tatters, but his allies lingered, whispering in elite circles, fueling the occasional threat. Claire had disappeared, likely scared off by Carter's arrest. But Maya kept her security tight. Marcus's team had become family, their vigilance a shield for her and Lena. The press had turned in Maya's favor, her story a symbol of resilience. She'd graced more magazine covers, spoken at conferences, and mentored young entrepreneurs, especially Black and queer women. Each step forward was a defiance of the hate that tried to pull her back. But the real victory was here, in the quiet moments with Lena, in the laughter of guests who'd never felt welcome before, in the young coder who'd thanked Maya for showing her she could dream big. Lucille wasn't just a restaurant, it was a movement. That night, they hosted a gala, a celebration of Lucille's first year under Maya's leadership. The dining room sparkled, filled with allies, community leaders, and the teen coder, now interning at Maya's tech company. Maya took the stage, her voice steady but emotional. A year ago, I was turned away from this place, she said. The crowd hushed. They told me I didn't belong because of my skin, my love, my truth. But I'm here to tell you, belonging isn't given. It's claimed. And we're claiming it. Together. The applause was deafening. Lena stood at the front, her sketchbook tucked under her arm, her eyes shining with pride. Maya stepped down, pulling her into a kiss, unapologetic and free. The crowd cheered louder, love drowning out the ghosts of hate. As the night ended, Maya and Lena stepped outside, the city alive around them. A new email pinged Another threat. Another coward. Maya deleted it without reading. They don't get to win, she said, her voice fierce. Lena nodded, her hand tight in Maya's. They never did. They walked into the night, their love a revolution, their future a promise. Lucille stood behind them, its doors open to all, a testament to what happens when you fight for what's right. Maya Johnson wasn't just a billionaire or a Black, queer woman, she was a force. And the world was learning her name.